Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to compare two of my favorite Casios that I own. So this is the Rangeman 9400 and this is the PRW-3510. And these are both what I consider kind of my rugged outdoor adventure watches. And you know, they kind of fall under a different class. Now, this is your G-Shock, this is your Pro Trek, but I feel like they're both kind of built really the same way in terms of like robustness. Now, from a functional standpoint, these are pretty identical. You know, all like the typical things that you would expect on one, the other one has. The only part that I won't comment on is all like the really hardcore ABC functions, like the tracking your altitude and logging it and recalling it. I've never played with that, but all like the typical stuff, like, you know, just checking the pressure, your compass, altitude, you know, all the clock functions, stopwatch, etc. You know, they're all the same. You know, the only probably small difference between the two is that this has a rotating bezel, and then this one has kind of this eyelet here that you can also kind of utilize for your compass bearing as well. But overall, pretty, I'd say 99% the same. So choosing which one can be a little difficult. Even size-wise, I feel like they're the same. If you look at kind of the thickness, you know, this one looks a little thicker at its. The Rangeman looks a little thicker at its kind of peak. The lugs appear to be about the same. They wear the same. So when I put these on, they feel and wear the same. You know, I mean, the lugs, this one might actually be a little bit longer, it seems like. But, you know, I couldn't tell you the difference between, like, size and weight. Pretty close. But where I would kind of give some pros and cons here. So, from a display standpoint, I like the clean display. You know, I don't like when they put a bunch of, like, get some, where Casio adds in, like, you know, these brackets and some dividers, whatever you want to call them. I don't like that because at certain angles it kind of blocks your view. Like, for example, you can't see your battery from this angle. You have to kind of look at it straight on. Where this one, you know, you have nothing blocking it. So I prefer just like an open, clean view. I kind of wish that this maybe, like, this bracket wasn't here. Maybe this low, medium, high battery was maybe just printed on a dial, so it's flush, versus this kind of, you know, 3D that just kind of blocks it. Same with this. You know, I wish, well, I guess this was kind of printed on as well. So that's the display-wise, that's a con for this one. However, this one shows more. So one of my biggest beefs with this Pro Trek is that you can't change this bottom view. It's stuck in seconds, and quite frankly, I don't really need to know the seconds. I would much rather have this be the date. Where on this one, you can kind of see that the seconds are moved here, and then you get your date and your barometric pressure, and even this kind of graphic as well. Where this one, you're basically stuck with the time. The top you can change to display, you know, date, but bottom you're stuck with the seconds. Unless I'm wrong, please someone tell me, because I've played with it as much as possible. I can't figure out if this can be changed. So that's my biggest kind of sticking point with the Pro Treks, is that this large space is dedicated just to seconds. I mean, you can fit more on here. You should be able to customize this. Like, it'd be cool as if you can track your pressure up here and maybe like your altitude down here or something like that. Anything, but seconds is kind of not really needed. So, which makes these kind of a tie, right? Because this protrusion, but you can see more. So, but yeah, otherwise they're pretty functionally the same. I mean, I do feel this watch feels more, you know, badass, if that's the right word. It is a cooler looking watch with the green and black. The band's more comfortable on this one than on this one. This has kind of got that resiny feel. This is kind of more of a rubbery feel. So tactical wise, this one I think just looks the part better. So this one kind of gets a little bit of a better on the looks department. These can be kind of outfitted a little cooler too. They come in different variations, but my favorite variation actually is the black with like the desert camo. That kind of looks pretty cool. On wrist, this one does feel a little less vague, I think, because this kind of has a very, just looking at it, you can kind of see that this one kind of just has more of a wrist presence. So yeah, that's kind of really the background on these. I mean, I think they're both great watches. It's kind of, I always have a hard time deciding which one do I want to wear, to be honest. I typically don't wear these as kind of daily wears. I do sometimes just for fun, but I typically use these more for, like, you know, I call these my adventure watches. Like, so if I'm gonna go fishing or, you know, go out, be outdoors or whatever, you know, I kind of like to wear these then. And it's kind of a hard choice, to be honest, which one to pick, because they, you know, both have such good pros and cons. So I think together these are a good combination, because, you know, you get a negative display here, positive here, and this is a really good negative display too. It's the STN. So you can look. Let me look at this viewing angle. I mean, it's crazy. You can see it virtually from, you know, that's pretty cool. This one has that as well, but again, that ridge kind of ruins it. So yeah, it looks. So just a kind of one last look at the size here. Kind of give you guys a better view here. Different profile here. You can see that this has a little band a little bit wider at the top, but then they kind of come down. This one I think tapers a little bit more. You know, buckles and keepers. You know, this has a metal keeper, which I get is more of a kind of a premium feel, but to be honest, I don't like the metal. It's just uncomfortable and it's gonna scratch, so I don't think it's necessary. I know it's kind of a premium touch. I much prefer kind of this kind of softer one. This has a double clasp or a double buckle, which again, I know that's supposed to be better, but to be honest, I kind of find it more annoying taking it on and off, but small little thing. Otherwise, they're kind of the same here. Both have just kind of similar case backs, nothing different there. Oh, and then feature-wise, one quick thing I'll cover is what I also like about the Pro Trek is it's got dedicated ABC buttons. You can jump right into whatever you want to check, whether it's your barometer, compass. You know, this one you have to kind of scroll. So it's a single button. You have to kind of go between the three. But that's interesting. You can kind of see that they're given different numbers here. So I might have to kind of look into this to see which one needs to be calibrated, because they're a little, I guess, I don't know, I'll have to play with that more. But this one, when you leave, it'll always come back to whichever one you left off on. So, kind of cool too. Otherwise, both great watches. If I had to recommend one, you know, if I had to get rid of one and keep one, it'd be pretty hard, but I think I would probably keep this one. You know, if I had to, I mean, I love them both, but if I had to pick, I'd take this one more, because I think it just looks cooler, and it does kind of, it's a little smaller. This one is a little bulkier from an appearance standpoint, but again, that's if I had to pick. Otherwise, I think you should have both of these. So let's give these a quick demonstration. I have roughly about a, you know, it's a 6 3/4, maybe a 7-inch wrist. It kind of fluctuates a little bit, but somewhere in that space between 6 3/4 and 7. So if we get the Rangeman on, it fits good. You know, I'm a lefty, so I wear my watch in my right hand, and one of the challenges I have with some of these Casio watches is that the sensors can sometimes dig in. This one isn't too bad. You know, it's a little, but not too bad. But kind of here's an idea how it wears. So this is on a 7-inch or 6 3/4, 7-inch wrist, somewhere in that space. But you can kind of see it's not overwhelming. I mean, it does have a strong presence. You know, getting the sleeve over is a little, you know, It is a little challenging to get the sleeve over it. So a lot of times I'll wear it like this with a sleeve like that, but no, it's good. There's a little top and a little thick, but it's light, so you don't feel it. The only time I feel it was when I'm doing this. I always have to kind of slide these up a little bit. Okay, so now let's get the Pro Truck on wrist. Okay, so here are the Pro Truck. So actually, I think if I go one tighter, there we go. That's how the Pro Truck looks. And the same thing, that sensor can kind of sometimes get in the way, so I kind of have to slide up a little bit. Getting the sleeve over this one's a little bit easier. It's not as thick and a little more compact. But so this one you can use your idea. Alright, hope this kind of helps you guys out. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will catch you on the next one.